Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 165. Hope you're having a good weekend and a healthy one on this first Tech It Out show of October. Whether you're listening on your local radio station right now or have subscribed to the podcast version, either way, thrilled to have you along. And we do have a packed show planned for you this hour. In a moment from now, we're going to catch up with Amazon to hear what's new from them in the devices department, including, get this, an indoor ring drone that flies around your home from room to keep an eye on your place for you and notifies you on an app if there's something suspicious, like a loud noise in one room or something crazy. It's coming out next year. After that, we're going to learn about Duolingo. You know, that popular app that teaches you another language for free, but they have something new for very young students, even preschoolers, for mastering English. It's called Duolingo ABC, and you're going to be the first to learn about it right here on Tech It Out. And yes, it's completely free as well. And finally, what online shopping may look like in the near future, including having a video concierge, somebody walking you through the product line you're looking at virtually. We're going to catch up with Powerfront in LA to hear all about that. All of this and more on a brand new Tech It Out, powered by Asus, which I'll tell you more about shortly, but let's kick off the show. If you thought your Echo Dot smart speaker was cool, or your Ring video doorbell, wait to hear what's next from Amazon. We're now going to get the scoop on Amazon's latest device announcements, including one that blew me away at its online press conference the other day. It's called the Ring Always Home Cam. Joining us on the line to tell us all about it, straight from Amazon's headquarters in Seattle, we've got Stuart Ramsey with us, entertainment and devices tech expert at Amazon. Welcome to the show, Stuart.
Thanks so much for having me, Mark.
That was a great virtual event that Amazon hosted. Tell us what was announced, including the latest devices.
Yeah, so this was one of our best product lineups ever. And with so many more people spending time at home, your home really needs to work harder for you. So each of the products that we announced today are about doing that in their own unique way. And that really starts with the all-new Echo Show 10, which has something we're calling intelligent motion. And really what that means is that the screen moves with you as you move around the room. Imagine you're on a video call and you want to go grab a glass of wine or a snack from the fridge. The screen will move with you so that you always stay in the field of view, which I just think is super cool. It has a beautiful 10-inch screen, 13 megapixel camera, built-in smart home hub for folks like me who have a ton of smart home devices in their house. And it also comes with Zoom and Netflix ready to go, which I think if you're anything like me, everyone's using a lot more of these days. So super excited for customers to get their hands on this one.
All right, just to bring everybody up to speed, what we're referring to here is a smart display. So it's like a smart speaker, but it has a screen as well. So if you ask for a recipe, for example, not only do you hear it, but you'll see step-by-step instructions visually, or you can ask to play cat videos on YouTube and so on and so forth. And I do believe Amazon also announced some new Echo speakers, correct? Some smart speakers.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is, as you mentioned, our much-loved Echo lineup, and this year it's even better. The first thing I think everyone will notice is that it has a completely redesigned look and feel. It has this really cool spherical shape. It's covered in fabric. And so that really the shape does double duty for us. Not only does it look beautiful in any room, but it really helps with the audio quality too. So inside of these little guys, there's all kinds of technology. And one of the things that it has is called adaptive sound, which enables them to really tailor the sound to the room and the acoustics that you're in. So it's really one of our best sounding speakers ever. We have the Echo Dot with clock, as you mentioned, the best selling clock on Amazon.com. And it has a really cool tap to snooze feature that I personally use almost every day. And we've also got this year the all new Echo Dot Kids Edition, which comes in some really cool designs. There's a tiger print, there's a panda design. And what's great about the Kids Edition is kids can ask Alexa for help with homework. They can call pre-approved friends and family. There's even a new reading feature, so Alexa can help teach your kids how to read, which is super cool.
Yeah, that was actually an impressive demo of a child reading by themselves with the smart speaker there. And if the child had some trouble with some of the words on the page, the AI, the artificial intelligence, would kick in and help the child along. So I really like that video in the press conference. So Echo Show 10, Echo, Echo Dot, and Echo Dot with Clock, all of them have the built-in Alexa, right? Like any other smart speaker from Amazon that came before it, just to confirm.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything she knows and everything she can do for you. Something that's interesting actually this year in terms of what Alexa can do is proactive hunches. So basically, if Alexa notices that every night you turn off your lights at 10 p.m. and lock your doors, and one night you don't do that, she can actually do it for you now, which is just an incredible innovation in artificial intelligence and something that we think customers are really going to love.
Awesome. What's new with Fire TV Stick?
Yeah, so people are streaming more than ever, actually billions of hours of entertainment every month on our devices. And so we're super excited to announce the all-new Fire TV Stick and Fire TV Stick Lite. These are our most powerful and affordable Fire TV Sticks ever. They start at just $29.99, which is a sort of wild price for all of the entertainment that you get through that. But they're 50% more powerful than previous generations. And really what that translates to is just faster streaming in full HD, which we think customers are going to love.
All right, so you just plug this into an available HDMI port on the side or back of your TV, and then you've got access to all of this content. Do both of those come with a remote, or do you need to use an app?
Yep, it comes with a remote and you can use Alexa to control that as well. So lots of options for customers there.
We are chatting with Stuart Ramsey, entertainment and devices tech expert at Amazon. We're learning about the slew of new devices Amazon unveiled last week. Now let's talk about something for gamers. Tell us all about Luna.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about Luna. This is our all-new cloud gaming service. It makes it really easy to play the games that you already love on the devices you already own. So you can play on your phone or tablet. You can start a game when you're on the bus on the way home from work and then pick it up when you get home on your laptop. Really just is about making gaming more accessible for folks. It also comes with, separately you can buy the Luna controller, which is built for streaming gaming, and it makes it really easy to just pick up and play. It connects to the cloud versus the device in your home, which makes it super fluid and responsive. And it's built with AWS, which just makes it excellent, an excellent cloud experience.
All right, so AWS, of course, stands for Amazon Web Services. That's all the back-end technology on Amazon server. So we don't actually see that as the gamer or as the consumer. That's something that's kind of invisible to us. We're just able to play all the games that we want on this service on virtually any online device anywhere in the world at any time. I think that's sort of the gist of it, right?
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Cool. All right. Now, as I touched on in the introduction, I'm most excited about the Ring Always Home Cam. Please tell us about that.
Yeah. So this is definitely a showstopper this year. It's a flying indoor camera. And, as you heard in the presentation, what we've learned is that customers have told us they want to know what's happening inside their home when they're not there, but they don't necessarily want a camera in every room. So imagine you leave for work in the morning and you think, gosh, did I leave the stove on or did I leave my hair straightener on? This is a product for customers that allows them to set up predetermined paths in their house, and they can go check on it and see if did I leave a window open? Did I leave the stove on? It flies to those predetermined viewpoints, or if there's an anomaly in your house, like broken glass or an alarm is triggered, the camera can go check that out too. And what's really great about that is you don't have to sort of hope that an incident happens in front of a camera. This gives you the power to go check out what's happening inside of your home. And the other thing I would mention about this is privacy was built in from the very beginning on this one. So when it's docked, the camera actually physically cannot record video, which is really important. And when it's moving around, it makes a very audible noise. So we like to say it's privacy you can hear.
Unless it was another product Amazon unveiled that they were talking about it being super quiet, that you didn't hear the motors going when it was moving around and things like that. Can you clarify?
You're thinking of the Echo Show 10. So that one we worked very hard to keep the motor very quiet.
Got it. I stand corrected. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, I really like this Ring camera that flies around. The most impressive thing to debut out of last week's event, without question. Again, it's called the Ring Always Home Cam. It looks like a little camera, and then it floats up and then flies around autonomously, so it doesn't hit walls or light fixtures and things like that, and records video that you can see even when you're not at home, and then it docks itself and then recharges for the next time. Really, really cool stuff. All right, why don't we end off on Eero, E-E-R-O.
Yeah, so, this might be a little bit unexpected as a holiday gift this year, but I actually think there's no better gift you can give right now than great Wi-Fi, and that's what Eero is all about. We have the new Eero Pro 6 and Eero 6 mesh Wi-Fi systems. They're built for Wi-Fi 6, which just means that they are built for faster speed and better performance, and especially when you've got multiple devices.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a more important time to have better Wi-Fi now that many, many millions are working and schooling from home, even at the same time. As we wrap up, I'm assuming Amazon.com is the best website to go to. Is there a dedicated page for all the new hardware that was just unveiled last week?
Yeah, go to Amazon.com/devices, and lots of the products that we talked about are available for pre-order right now.
Stuart Ramsey, thank you so much for your time. Have a great fall. Stay healthy.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're listening to Tech It Out, powered by Asus. For those in search of incredible, check out its laptops like its ZenBook or VivoBook family at asus.com/US/radio. That's ASUS.com. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. You've probably heard of or even used Duolingo. It's an incredibly popular, fun, and effective way to learn another language through bite-sized interactive lessons on your mobile phone or other devices. But today we're going to learn about Duolingo ABC for younger users. Joining us on the line to chat is Dr. Cindy Blanco. Dr. Blanco is a learning scientist at Duolingo, where she works to improve teaching efficacy. Welcome to the show, Dr. Blanco, or may I call you Cindy?
Yeah, please, Cindy. It's great to be here. Thanks so much, Mark.
Thank you. Now, I'm a big fan of Duolingo, I have to tell you right off the bat. So I'm familiar with the app, with the platform. But before we talk about Duolingo ABC, please tell us a bit about Duolingo for those who haven't used it or haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah, so Duolingo is a freely available app and website where we teach. Teaching is our thing. Our mission is to develop the best education in the world and to make it universally available. And so I know you for sure, and probably a lot of your listeners are familiar with our learning app where we teach languages to mostly grown-ups. We'll be talking about kids a little bit later. But yeah, so we are a language teaching company. We have 39 different languages that you can learn all totally for free. And we are really committed to using technology to make language teaching better.
Awesome. What would you say separates Duolingo from other language learning platforms? I'm talking about like Babbel or Rosetta Stone, a bit more old school, but I think they've tried to modernize their approach.
Yeah, so we are really committed to making all of our content, all of our language courses, all totally free. And so that's really just intrinsic in our mission. And so because we are uniting like learning science, right, my side of things, with technology, there's a big focus on gamification to keep learners motivated. And as I mentioned earlier, because we teach 39 different languages, we have a huge number of global users right now, well over 300 million learners worldwide.
Wow.
And so that gives us data into how our learners are interacting with the product, how they're learning best. And so we are constantly updating and improving our courses to serve these learners using the data that we get from their experience.
So on one hand, it's free to use. And if so, what is the revenue model? Like how does Duolingo make money? And then secondly, I really like your gamification approach. Like it rewards you for forming successful words, saying the right words, and you win little trophies and other ways to keep you motivated along the way.
Yeah, great. So to start, at the end of our lessons, you'll see an ad. So we rely on ad revenue. But because the ads come after the lessons, there's no paywall. There will never be a paywall to content or to these to the courses themselves. And so you can opt to be a Plus subscriber. So we have a subscription plan called Duolingo Plus, and that gets you out of seeing those ads, and it gives you additional gamification features. And so the gamification that we use is really interesting because we've learned, like I said, from all this data that we have, that keeping learners motivated is often the most difficult part of language learning. And so from my side, for language teaching. And so my background is in teaching college level Spanish classes. And this, I don't think I appreciated it at the time, but it was really nice that learners were like compelled to come to class because it was scheduled each day, and they knew their friends were going to be showing up, and they were paying tuition, and there were homework assignments and exams. They were expecting, there was so much compelling them, motivating them to come to class. And so even if, my lesson was especially challenging or tricky, they probably weren't going to like run out in the middle of class, right? They were going to stay in the room with me until the end of class. And my learners don't have that experience anymore. Now that I'm teaching through the app, motivation is even more important, because if I frustrate you too much, if you're not having a good experience, if it seems too boring, or you don't understand the purpose of what we're doing, you just close the app, and I lose the chance to teach you. And so that's why we have built right into the lessons, right into the course structure, these gamification mechanics. And so there's a heart system where, if you make too many mistakes, you lose these hearts. And then instead of doing new stuff, you have to do practice material, which again, from like my learning perspective, practice material is really good for you.
Right, it's repetition. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is so important to learning. But from a learner experience, you kind of want control over what you don't want to lose those hearts. There's also a streak. So we count how many consecutive days you've been doing lessons. That is the one that keeps me motivated. I'm obsessed with my streak. And so you can see lots of kind of gamification features that way. There's lots of new social components where you can track friends and see what they've been up to, how many points they've been earning each day. And so we're really mindful of what keeps learners coming back to their lessons.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Cindy. Without further ado, I want to get into Duolingo ABC. So obviously that does suggest the younger grades. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, that's right. So Duolingo ABC is our new literacy app. And so this app is teaching reading and writing skills to kids in their first language, for kids ages 3 to 7. And so we're focused here right now on English-speaking markets, including the US and Canada, just because it's such a new product. But your listeners will be able to find it in the App Store.
So unlike Duolingo, which teaches you another language, this is reinforcing your mother tongue, your native language.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So with that in mind, when we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue chatting with Dr. Cindy Blanco to learn more about Duolingo ABC. She's a learning scientist at the company. So we're going to hear a little bit more, including what platforms it's available on, how much it costs, and I think you're going to like the answer to that one, and a lot more. So stick with us. You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. This program is powered by ASUS, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, and other accessories, smartphones, tablets, smart watches, and more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. We are chatting with Dr. Cindy Blanco. She's a learning scientist at Duolingo. They have a new product called Duolingo ABC. Before the break, Cindy, you were explaining how Duolingo ABC is for young children to master their own language. So it's a bit of a flip from what Duolingo is usually about, which is to learn another language. But it is for preschoolers and up, and it is to sharpen their English skills, correct?
Yeah, the science behind teaching a new language is really different from the science behind teaching you to read and write in the language you already know. And so Duolingo ABC is designed for kids who are already learning English with their families and communities. And so this is really focusing on making connections between the language they know in their head and how we map it to these really arbitrary little squiggles that we know as letters in English. And this is a really difficult challenge, right? There's nothing intrinsic to, the squiggles that make an M that mean that it should make a M sound. But we've made this connection so long ago that I think it's easy for adults to forget how hard it is to make that initial abstraction, to make that jump between the M in monkey and mom and mirror with that shape on the page.
Right. Yeah. And I know English can be very tough to learn. Ask anyone who's
it's awful.
Trying to master it as a second language. And there's so many exceptions to the rules.
Yes.
That it's really difficult. So maybe you can walk us through a couple of the bite-sized lessons, if you will, that's offered now and where you think it's going in the future. Give us an idea of what it's like to use the app as a 3 to 7-year-old.
Yeah. So it's made so that, an adult would sit down with the child, set up the account, get things started, indicate how old the child is, maybe indicate if they should kind of be advanced in the course. Maybe your child already knows some of these letters. And then you can turn the product over entirely to the child. And so the program is meant to adapt with ages. And so the experience that a 3 or 4-year-old would have in the preschool lessons is meant to be really different than what you can expect from a 6 or 7-year-old, right? 6 and 7-year-olds are capable of a lot more. Their motor skills are better developed. They're ready for some of those gamified features. We don't have those available for the real little kids because it can feel frustrating or a distraction. And so the course takes you through all of these different sound letter pairs in English. And like you said, English is just kind of a linguistic nightmare in this way that there's so many exceptions, but certain letters will have different sounds in different contexts, or the same sound will have different letters. There's so much to get through. And so our learning experts have kind of mapped out this path of what is needed from kids at each age. And so kids read these short stories. They learn phonics and sight words. We get them decoding, so sounding out words just as soon as we can. And we always keep the focus on comprehension. And so that's why these really silly, cute little stories that show up at the beginning and the end of each lesson are so important. But reading unlocks this whole world for kids and for adults as well. That reading skills are really important to understanding math and science. You're always going to have textbooks that you're interacting with in classrooms, even if it's not, reading class. And especially written language is especially important right now when we're doing so much more interacting virtually online on our cell phones, that kids more than ever are exposed to written language and they see how it connects us across distances.
Are there ads on the Duolingo ABC app as there are with Duolingo, or because of the age you don't?
Yeah, so because of the age, there's no monetization happening. There are no ads. There's none of these distracting features, and so parents really can feel confident letting their child navigate their own learning because there's no traps or tricks where your kid might accidentally, sign you up for something that you didn't mean to.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all totally free and really meant to be streamlined to focus on learning. And so the little learning path that the child sees is free from distractions. This is a really very child-centric, child-friendly app.
Okay, got it. Before we wrap up, is there a reason why it's only available for iPhone and iPad? Android has the overwhelming market share worldwide, or is it because you're only focusing on the US and Canada right now, where iOS is number one?
Yeah, so it's a combination of these reasons. So we were starting with English just because that's the language that our literacy experts know best, but we're going to be expanding to Android and to other languages in the coming year. And so actually what happened was that we were expecting to launch Duolingo ABC around now in the fall. But then when the global pandemic locked everything down and we realized all of a sudden parents needed as much help as they could keeping up their child's education when things were so uncertain back in the spring, that we sped up development. And so our iOS version was the one that we had ready first. And so we released that just as soon as we could to parents.
Okay. And then finally, is there a place that you'd recommend to learn more about this if there's a parent listening that's interested? Or would you just say download the app? Or is there a website that can give you a little bit more info?
Yeah, both. So you can find Duolingo ABC in the iTunes App Store. And you can also go to duolingo.com/ABC. And so that's Duolingo, duolingo.com/ABC. And so that's a page that tells you more about the product, how it was created, what you can expect, and how you might work on it with your child.
Awesome. Dr. Cindy Blanco, thank you so much for your time. It sounds great for preschoolers and into perhaps first and second grade. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Mark.
So you probably know that my catchphrase on Tech It Out is that I like to break down geek speak into street speak. If you like that kind of approach and you are on social media, feel free to follow me because I write a tech tip of the day, making sense of tech in a fun way, a little life hack or a little tip or trick that you might not have realized. It might save you some time. It could save you money and certainly save you some aggravation. So I'm on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. That's Mark with a C. Saltzman with a Z, so SALTZMAN. And on Twitter, for example, it's Mark_Saltzman. You might have to search for me there. And then on the other platforms like Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that, it's just simply Mark Saltzman. Hey, do you like online shopping? Well, you're going to be blown away at what's to come in the near future. We're going to chat with Powerfront when we return.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. If there's one thing we've done a lot more of since the start of this global pandemic, it's online shopping. Let's face it, right? Not only is it safer to have a shipment delivered to your doorstep, but we're likely home to receive the package these days. And it could also be cheaper to shop online in many cases compared to retail. But online shopping is still evolving, and we often borrow from the East to see what's trending there, as they seem to be a bit of ahead of the curve when it comes to e-commerce. And so we're going to now learn about live streaming shopping with a company called Powerfront. And joining us on the line to chat is Hadar Paz. He's the CEO of the company. Welcome, Hadar. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Mark.
My pleasure. Why don't we dive right in? What is video or live streaming shopping all about?
Well, so the good news is that there's a whole new level of e-commerce coming in now. As you said, from the East. In China, it's pretty big, $44 billion sold through this kind of channel in 2018, which is amazing. What it is, it's a way for consumers to actually enjoy some real-time kind of action from retailers. So you can be on a website and you can look at some products. It's like a catalog, really. It's not really that exciting. But all of a sudden you get an invitation to look at a live show of the latest collection, for example, and you can just jump in there and see and join, maybe 50, 100, 1,000 other customers that are just interested to see that this live collection by this brand that you love. And then and it's a whole new kind of entertainment, really.
So walk us through what it looks like. So I'm shopping online. I'm interested in buying, a handbag for my wife, and I would like something for my home. So what would the experience typically be like? It would be text and photos, or maybe a video, but certainly not live. That's what we're probably used to here in the West, like, with Amazon and the likes. But this Powerfront platform brings it more to life, I think is what you said. So explain, please, what the user sees.
Sure. So, TV shopping, right? Whereby you're watching how they're explaining about a product.
Right, like a QVC.
Yeah, there's a phone number that you can call. Here you can actually participate with questions. It's a real time. So you have the ability to ask a question during the show and affect the show and actually interact as well. Some of those shows can actually elevate you to show your video in front of talking in front of the other customers. There's a lot of variations to it. That's what we're doing now. So it's different also in a way that where it's done. So in a TV shopping, it's basically a studio. They set up the kitchen in the studio and they're doing that. But in a retailer virtual show, it'll be in a store. Camera is panning through the store. They show you the products as if you are in the store. This is kind of the direction that we all want to take. Some sort of an alternative shopping as if you are in the actual store, so you can see the whole brand, kind of the beautiful stores and how they're arranging the store and the vibe and remind you we are really focusing on luxury. So, it's more around, for us, it's more around the luxury stores. Yeah.
Okay. So just to reiterate, it's live streaming shopping or video shopping technology. So that means that if I'm shopping from the comfort of my home, on my mobile device or on a computer or something like that, I can see the product live shown by like a salesperson, if you will, or a hand model or what have you. And brand. It's in real time, a brand ambassador. And then it could be interactive as well. So not only is it a live video, but I can also say, hey, do you mind turning it over? I want to see the, if I'm buying that handbag, for example, I want to see what does it look like from the inside, that kind of thing. Is that fair?
That's fair. But I'll add to it also that, when we love a brand, right, the way that they are talking, presenting, it's all very much different than just, a TV show, a TV shopping, channel. It is really a very special kind of experience that those who love the brand really appreciate that, and they really like it. They're talking their own language, right?
Like an unboxing video, I guess, to stick with like a tech analogy.
Yeah, you've got a certain style that people like. You got people that, you talk their language. So you can imagine a Gucci show, right? Versus, a Harley Davidson show, right? You can start to see the differences, right? The language is different. The jokes are different. Some of them don't have jokes. Some of them are very serious. But, the way they dress, the way they move, the way they present, like that's what we're talking about here.
Okay. So the showmanship or the presentation, if you will, is just as important as the product in some cases. Okay, I think I'm catching on. And why do you think this is big in China already? Why do you think they were early to gravitate to this experience, this online shopping experience?
I knew you're going to ask this question. So I can only assume, right? It's very interesting, but I had a very good explanation just lately. It's just where the money is.
So you are focusing more on premium brands, like you said, like big fashion brands, right? Like Gucci, L'Oreal, I think. Right?
Yeah. That's right. In China, I think they just it's blowing up. So that's where there's so many of them, and that's why. So there's a lot of reason, people are saying that they for them there's hardly any entertainment if you compare that to to the Western world. So they find it entertaining. There's a lot of reasons why they think it's like transport and the size, all sorts of explanations. But and their usage, they're actually more advanced than us in terms of their usage of their mobile devices. Right. So
they're consuming these videos mostly on mobile devices.
They're the next step forward. So we're looking at them now as, okay, what's going to happen? What's next? I mean, look at TikTok. That came from China. So that's huge. And it's taking us like a storm now. I mean, everybody's on TikTok. I mean, even myself included. It's unbelievable what's going on. So that came from there.
So is this on major sites like Amazon, Walmart's website, or are these like small little stores that are dabbling in the technology? We're going to get an answer from Powerfront when we return. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Hadar Paz. He is the CEO of the company Powerfront. I love the press release I received about this technology. The subject line of the email says, with this bougie new video shopping technology, are returns a hassle of the past? So are you suggesting that the Powerfront engine that's driving this experience means higher customer satisfaction and therefore fewer returns? I guess that would be the big motivator for a retailer. Are you finding that?
I hope to find out, but I'm more excited about the new alternative shopping experience for this type of customers that are not really are missing now from the stores. You know, the traffic in the stores are pretty low at the moment. You know, and they're all screaming for what else can we do? You know, because the online shopper, right? The ones that are using the shopping cart and checking out, they don't need anything else. For them, that is irrelevant. How you gonna the video, not video. They're already happy buying online, but there's a big group of customers that I just love the experience and I want to walk into a store, and they're missing that right now. They could be older, they could be, you know, just trying to stay away from things at the moment. What do we do for them? What do we have for them right now?
So are shoppers leveraging Powerfront's technology on major online retailers in China like Alibaba, or is it Gucci directly you're working with, for example?
We're starting now there. With our brand. So at the moment, it's it's mainstream, but we're now kind of paving the way of how does it work for a luxury brand. So I can elaborate here that the difference between a luxury brand live stream or live show is that to a mainstream is that we give more attention to the shopper. So you might have a personal stylist with you as you're looking at a show, at a catwalk or a store walkthrough. And that personal advisor has a one-on-one video connection with you, while you're both into one-to-many video connection with the brand. So it's a personal shopping experience in pairs, if you think like that, right? So we're trying to make that possible. That doesn't exist anywhere. This is specifically for luxury brands, right? So you can actually have someone focus on you 100% while you're looking at the latest Gucci collection, for example.
Those are some of your clients, I understand. Yeah. What are some of the other big fashion brands that you're working with?
We have Valentino. We're doing a trial with Tiffany at the moment. So we got quite a few of the largest, brands in the world. We're doing just with Prada. Sephora is also very interested. We also got a one-to-one kind of video whereby you just talk yourself with an advisor. That is already happening with our customers all over the place. So.
And what about influencers? I understand they could also leverage your technology.
So they can, and they can be invited to use this technology, and we can stream it for example, to YouTube at the same time. So we're not there yet, but once it's available, which is in the next for a few weeks, we will be seeing how this is going to develop. This is going to be brand specific, and if they're going to involve them or not.
Right. Okay. So with that in mind, Hadar, then why don't we leave off on when we can expect to see this technology from Powerfront into the fall, like October, November timeframe? And if so, what brands or what stores do you think would adopt it first?
I'm under NDAs everywhere. So in 4 weeks, please just visit our website, powerfront.com, and we'll be showing there what we can, and with links to live shows, so which is public knowledge anyway. So once we go on live with a client, we will surely advertise that. Powerfront.com, that's the website to check that.
All right, Powerfront.com. Our guest has been Hadar Paz, CEO of the company. Thank you so much for your time. Sounds very exciting. It's interesting that on one hand, I've seen tech companies use artificial intelligence and fewer humans sort of in the cycle of selling something online. On the other hand, with your technology, you're actually embracing that human element and doubling down on presentation and interaction.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All the best. Thank you, and stay healthy. Thanks again, Hadar.
Thank you so much.
Hey, before we wrap up another edition of Tech It Out, I do want to remind you that if you are using your computer a lot more these days, which is normal, you're working from home, schooling from home, don't forget to back up your important files on a regular basis. I don't want to sound preachy, but I just wrote an article for USA Today on all the different ways you can back up your files before it's too late. Just in case something happens, consider Western Digital hard drives and SSDs. SanDisk has a new line of SSDs, part of the Western Digital family. Then there's also the My Passport line of hard drives as well. So really good stuff there at WDC.com. Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend and a safe and healthy week ahead. And I look forward to catching up with you next time on Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, for those in search of incredible.